Hello and welcome to Orderful. Today we are going to take a look at the 200 series and show how Orderful does EDI different from a legacy EDI solution. When you get started with Orderful, one of the first things you will do is gather your guidelines from your trading partners, or in this instance, your carriers and shippers that you're working with. Once you've got those guidelines compiled, we can move on to our integration assistance. With a legacy EDI solution, this is where you might be familiar with the idea of custom mapping, where for every document and for every trading partner you work with, you would need to create a custom map. However, Orderful does away with the idea of mapping entirely and supports just one integration per document type. Today, we're taking a look at the 214. Now let's go ahead and choose both of our shippers that are listed here that we would be sending this document to. On our right side, we can see those guidelines for our 214, showing the required segments and elements that your shipper would be expecting to receive on this 214 document. Coming back to our integration assistance, Orderful has done the hard work for us and has combined those two guidelines into one JSON payload. This is the superset payload that you will use to build your integration off of. Now let's assume we've got our integration built. We can then move on to our testing and validation phase. With a legacy EDI solution, this is where things tend to slow down from days to weeks and possibly even months. We're going to continue looking at the 214 today and click into this first transaction. It has failed the validation status. This means that when Orderful compared this document to the digital guideline, something doesn't match up. It also has not been delivered to your shipper. Not only does Orderful validate transactions in real time, but it also gives you the ability to fix errors when they happen. Clicking over to our rules editor, we see our error tab. Our E is not a valid input based on the digital guideline, but we can also see what those allowed values are, including BT, SF, and ST. Let's go ahead and write a function to fix this. Orderful has pre-built functions that we can utilize to fix errors when they occur. Now that we've got our function built, we can go ahead and save. We see that our rule has been saved successfully, our payload has been fixed, and if we scroll to the top, validation has passed and it's been delivered to our shipper. This entire time, we've been working with just JSON. However, you can toggle over to X12 and see what your shipper would be receiving. Coming back to our transaction dashboard, we see visibility into our transactions and the ability to filter out by transaction type or by shipper in this instance. Orderful also supports communication channels out of the box, including AS2, FTP, and SFTP. So if you're currently having to maintain servers within your infrastructure, you will no longer need to do that. Orderful does EDI different. First, we digitize guidelines and support just one integration per document type. Next, we validate those transactions in real time and allow you to write rules to fix errors when they do occur. You also have increased visibility, and Orderful supports communication channels out of the box. Thanks for your time today, and we look forward to continuing the conversation soon.